Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 5th Annual Fast Track Challenge. If you've been here before, you know that this event is Scott County's Business Challenge. This event has been awarded the 2018 Program of the Year from the Economic Development Association of Minnesota. This event is brought to you by the Scott County CDA's brand new Center for Entrepreneurship, which provides assistance to first-stage businesses. We are especially excited this year to share that Prior Lake Technology Village, who sponsored this event the last several years, has expanded its scope and joined it with the new Center for Entrepreneurship to give accelerator opportunities to new businesses throughout Scott County. We appreciate the support of the City of Prior Lake for its years of support for Technology Village and consider this countywide expansion a huge success for the program. I'm Dave Cromie. I am a board member of the Center for Entrepreneurship Business Accelerator Program. That's a tongue twister if you say it too many times. I have the pleasure of serving as MC and moderator here for this event. But before we officially begin, we'd like to take a moment to recognize someone very special to this event, to the Fast Track Challenge, and that's Patrick Stroll. Patrick was a board member who inspired the creation of this Scott County Fast Track Challenge 5 years ago. His vision for the event shows up in almost all the details you see here today. A longtime business person himself, Patrick was dedicated to helping entrepreneurs in Scott County, serving as a mentor and board member for several years. The impact he had on first stage businesses and his fellow board members and staff will be appreciated for many years to come. We had to say goodbye to Patrick this past May, much too early in his life, but we do want to take this moment. We were hoping his wife would come here. Oh, she's here? Okay, I'm sorry. Sure. Is everybody okay if I repeat some of this? Michelle, we were just talking about Patrick and how he inspired this event, and we're very grateful for the years that he served on the board and the inspiration he gave to many startup businesses and first stage businesses. His legacy will go on for many of us for a long time, and thank you for that. He left us much too early, as we all know. We would like to recognize you, Michelle, and share a video. We have a copy of a video to share with you, and we also have a plant. You want me to hand that?
The video we don't have.
The video is not ready, I guess. I'm sorry. We have a special plant here, and to show the appreciation for all the work he has done, and to share his memories with it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay. Tonight we will hear business pitches from 4 finalists. It was 5 beginning of the day, but there was illness took one of them out, so it went down to 4, who were selected from a pool of applicants that submitted their business ideas. Each entrepreneur will be given 10 minutes to pitch their ideas to our esteemed panel of judges, followed by 10 minutes for Q&A session with the judges. We ask the audience remain seated during each 20-minute segment. There will be a 10-minute break between sessions. This event is being recorded for future production, so please bear with our cameras and any breaks that are required. This event is not possible without our generous sponsors and professional service providers. We are pleased with the broad-based support from across Scott County. I would like to recognize sponsors and professional service providers. If you are present tonight, please stand and be acknowledged. The following sponsors have donated a total of $7,000 in startup funds and $8,000 in professional services, which will be provided to tonight's winners. Our silver sponsors, thank you to them who have provided over $2,500 in cash and/or services, and they are Larkin Hoffman Law Firm, Neon Lizard Creative Design and Marketing, Round Bank of New Prague, and Scott County Community Development Agency. Thank you so much for your generosity. Our copper sponsors, who provided between $1,000 and $2,499, are Minnesota Valley Electric Co-op with their Operation Roundup program, First Bank and Trust of New Prague, and the City of Prior Lake. Thank you for your generosity. We also appreciate the partnership and donations from several local Chamber of Commerces, and they are the New Prague Chamber of Commerce, Prior Lake Chamber of Commerce, Savage Chamber of Commerce, and the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. And winners will be given a one-year membership to these organizations. And finally, thank you to the City of Prior Lake for hosting this live event, the City of Prior Lake and Savage Communications for recording and editing tonight's event, and Next Stage Minnesota, Lee Hall, for providing business advisory services to our finalists. Next, we will move on to introducing our judges. We will begin, joining us this evening are Kurt Briggs. Kurt is an accomplished senior leader with expertise across medical device, pharmaceutical, prescription benefit management services, and the internet startup settings. He enjoyed over 30 years of success in the healthcare products and services field, leading customer-facing teams in medical affairs, professional relations, marketing, and sales. Following his professional career, Kurt turned his attention to public service. In 2016, he was elected mayor of Prior Lake. He is currently serving in his second term. Mayor Briggs was a judge in our inaugural Fast Track Challenge in 2017. We welcome him back. Thank you, Kurt. Next, Joseph Vitante is the chair of Larkin Hoffman's Corporate and Finance Group and a member of the firm's Board of Directors and Management Committee. He has a strong background representing companies in buying and selling businesses, franchising, and distribution. Joe earned his JD at Mitchell Hamlin College and is a winner of numerous legal awards. In his spare time, Joe coaches fast pitch softball and has been the varsity head coach at Shakopee High School for the past 3 years. Thank you, Joe, for joining us this evening. Angela Hykus is the president and CEO of Shakopee Mendawakton Sioux Community Gaming Enterprise. She is responsible for both Mystic Lake Casino Hotel and Little Six Casino. Hykus has worked in the gaming industry for over 25 years. Her career includes work for the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, where she oversaw Grand Casino Mille Lacs, Grand Casino Hinckley, and a number of small businesses. Hykus is a summa cum laude graduate of the University of St. Thomas with a business administration degree in finance and has been recognized with numerous awards in finance and within the gaming industry. She currently serves on the board of directors for the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Angela, for joining us. Charles Shannon currently leads corporate development at Data Site with an initiative to grow businesses inorganically. Charles also serves as Senior Vice President of the Business Development at Surgical Information Sciences. Charles has extensive experience inside leading investment banks, venture capital funds, and private equity. Charles enjoys spending time with his wife and 2 young daughters and is an avid golfer. If avid golfer must mean you must be pretty good. He has a BA in corporate finance from the University of Minnesota Carlson School of Management. Charles served as a judge for every Fast Track Challenge. We welcome Charles back to the panel for the 5th consecutive year. Thank you. And as we had one of our presenters bow out because of an illness, so did a judge this morning. So we had Sarah Jones volunteered to step in as a judge. She normally MCs this event, so I stepped in for MC for her. So she'll be judging the presenters as well as the MC person, I'm sure, as well. Got a little bio here on Sarah. Sarah is an experienced business executive who has focused most of her career in health technology. She's currently the Chief Growth Officer of MemoryWell, a seed stage startup focusing on improving healthcare through patient storytelling. Sarah's background includes marketing, product management, innovation, operations, and leadership. She has participated in multiple company acquisitions, most notably the sale of Great Call to Best Buy in 2018. She serves as an advisor to early-stage companies in the Scott County Center for Entrepreneurship. She has her undergraduate degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison and an MBA from the University of St. Thomas. Thank you, Sarah, for stepping in on such short notice. Thank you. Ready to move on to presentation? Okay. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce the first of our 4 finalists for tonight's challenge. The company's name is MASH. We have 3 representatives here. Is that correct?
2 are going to speak, 1's going to stay.
Okay, all right. They're excited to pitch their business plans to the fast track judges. They currently operate MASH in Eagan, a sports and human development company. They are proposing a new proactive approach to training athletes and inspiring an entire community of growth with a brand new facility in Savage. Their current team includes strength training and youth baseball club. They will expand services in physical therapy, chiropractic, nutrition, psychology, and providing collaborative resources for their clients. MASH will continue to promote a positive environment as a way to engage and develop the next generation through the creation of space and programming, coaching, and culture. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Okay. All right. Well, first off, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for having us. My name's Steve McGuigan. This is Tom Buski. We're the owners of MASH. We have been since 2012, so Tom and I are coming up on our 10-year anniversary together of being in business. So we've been around each other a long time. So this is our first time being in a setting like this. We're very excited. So MASH, as they said, is a human performance center, but really for us, when we got together in 2012, our goal was to inspire growth. And so Tom and myself played high school baseball together at Apple Valley High School. We grew up here. He was a gopher. I called him to maybe be a gopher. Wasn't quite good enough. Ended up going to Chicago for school. And when I came back, Tom had started a baseball club. And I reached out to him. I just connected with him. We met at a Caribou Coffee, and from there we said, okay, let's go out and do club baseball. And at this time, that was really not anything that was going on inside of this state. It was pretty brand new. It was different. So I'm 23 years old, living in my parents' basement, and I told them I'm going to be the president of Tom's baseball club. They weren't too juiced. But I believed in his message, and that's why we wanted to start here, because we wanted to create a community that inspires growth. And that is the basis of everything that we're going to talk about tonight. Being athletes, youth sports in general, can be a really difficult thing to navigate. And we wanted to make sure that we were there to help people through that process. So in order to do that, I think I got to give you guys just a quick history of who we are and what's led us to being up here in front of you guys. So we started together in 2012. This is our first ever facility. So what we did is we started with 24 kids. We just trained them outside in Quarry Point in Apple Valley. And we called it a mashup. We just ran practices, and that led us to subleasing space in a facility in Burnsville, which is on that bottom left right there. And up above there, where that white wall is, was a mezzanine space. That was our gym. So not a very friendly environment for a gym, but it was important to us. And in the first 3 years of this space, we had about 1.5 cages, and we outgrew it. And it was a big deal for us to make a move to our next and current home 5 years in, which is located in Eagan, which you'll see up here. This is our current home. And the biggest thing that we did inside of this place was, in our first facility, we were known as a baseball club. And with our gym up in that mezzanine space, we started understanding that that gym was having a huge impact, not only on our kids physically, but mentally. And it was changing our culture. So inside of this new business, or our new facility, we put our performance right out front. So when you walked in, we made a commitment to having strength conditioning, an enormous part of what we do in inspiring growth. So there's an 8,000 square foot gym inside this facility, which now has 4 full-time strength coaches, as well as a 12,000 square foot turf space, which we used just for baseball training at the time. So this was a huge move for us. It allowed for us to have our own culture, our own music, our own way that we set stuff up. And within 2 years of being able to have that, we sold this space out. So for the last 3 years, we've been operating on this space where we actually can't allow anyone else to come into our facility based on capacity. which has led us to get here in front of you guys and coming to Scott County. So that leads us to where we're going now. So this is our vision of how we can now create the most amount of growth, inspire the most amount of growth inside of our community. So this is a 65,000 square foot building right here in Scott County in Savage. The picture on the right is a birthday gift from my girlfriend of flying a drone over and taking a little picture for me, which I thought we'd throw on there so everybody can kind of see where we're going to be located. And on this parcel, we'll also have 2 baseball fields. So for us, this is finally a vision coming full circle and allowing for us to actually have control of the environment, of how we schedule our practices, of how our community works together, of how we are inside of the facility. From top to bottom, this is actually a MASH campus, and we feel like after what we've been through the last couple of years, we haven't been more confident in our mission to inspire growth.
So I brought a new slideshow, so we're gonna have to work with me here. We're gonna go backwards and forwards, but I thought we'd be able to pull it up. So as Steve mentioned, the last decade's been a blessing. We've been working daily to pursue our mission, and that includes the staff we hire and the values that we teach, and the commitment to not only have the good conversations, but the tough ones. Like everyone, the last 2 years has been extremely difficult. We've had to make tough choices. How do we move forward? How do we reopen? At the end of the day, we were shut down for a third of 2020, over 100 days. Through it all, one thing was certain. People invest in their future, and the future is the next generation. The business we are in and the demographics we generally serve have proven extremely resilient through the last 18 months. Youth sports and the industry we are in has expanded rapidly since the early 2000s, with an anticipated market of over $77 billion by 2026. We've seen a surge in participation in the last year and are positioning ourselves to expand not just from a baseball club, but to serve a wide variety of clients. So this diagram essentially shows the current market and landscape, and it's bucketed into kind of 3 separate categories. So the first category would be kind of what we're known for, which are youth sports and skill training. So for us, most youth sports organizations focus just on that sport. And then what they'll do is they'll partner with fitness centers or local gyms in their community to service their athletes on the strength and conditioning side. In addition to that, athletes have injuries, acute injuries or chronic injuries that they'll need physical therapy for, they'll need orthopedic surgery for. And so our goal as we move forward is to transition to a sport performance center that accomplishes all of these things under one roof. And the mission and the vision is to really have the performance center at the heart and soul of what we do, and the baseball club being an ancillary factor and benefactor of those resources. So our athletes in our community can come to us for all of those aspects, not just baseball. For us, this is kind of a new way to do things in the market. It hasn't necessarily been done before. It's much more akin to a Division I college athletics department than it is in a youth sports environment. And there really isn't any other space like we're going to create in Scott County. And there really isn't any other business doing it the way that we'll do it in the market, not just in Scott County, but really in the Twin Cities market as a whole. So since 2017, we've had the opportunity to work with almost 2,000 families, and we've had close to a 90% retention rate with those families, and that doesn't take into account graduation. A lot of our athletes graduate every year. And most of these families are families with youth athletes that drop their kids off at our facility and will go enter the local market to spend their dollars. So not only is this an asset to the community for youth sports and the facilities it provides, but it's also going to provide dollars spent in the local community, because families will go to the grocery store, go to restaurants, go to coffee shops, and they'll spend money above and beyond what they're participating with for us. So our goal in this new facility is to double our gross revenue by 2025 through our community relationships and some of the new business streams that we've talked about. We currently have 11 full-time employees that work inside of our current facility in Eagan, And our goal and our projections are to have roughly 25 full-time employees by 2025, and an estimated growth in our overall payroll spend by over $800,000 a year. There is, I think, in the packet of information, more descriptive, historical, and projected financial information as well. I just didn't include it in the slides. And we did have an image of our overall layout in the new PowerPoint, but I think that is also in the packet as well. So you can kind of see the overall campus layout that includes outdoor fields. So what are our action items? What are our next steps to accomplish? Well, I think me and a couple other people, I know Stacy, we're going to the Planning Commission meeting in about 30, 40 minutes here over at Savage. So that's the immediate next step in order for this process to continue to move forward. We are also at the same time wrapping up our financing and our investment, and we plan to break ground as early as possible in the spring of 2022. And that will allow us to open our doors by November 1st or about this time next year.
So for us, it's been an interesting journey. It's an interesting thing to take 10 years and put it into 10 minutes. But we viewed this as everything we've done up to this point has been with the vision to get where we are literally right here in the next 2 weeks. We're very excited. We're very humbled to be up front here and have a 10-year vision coming to fruition, and we're excited to do it right here in Scott County.
Minutes on the nut again.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your presentation there. Now we'll have a Q&A from the judges or with the judges. And when we had 5, it was going to be easy. One person starts, one next. But I think, Charles, do you want to start this round?
Sure, thank you. Appreciate it. Given how great the panel of judges are here, this might be the last time I get the microphone. So I thought I'd just quickly say just a quick few words about Patrick Stroll. Adam Prohl in the audience introduced me to Patrick in 2016, and I'll be totally frank, I was a little skeptical at the idea, but he came in my office and tremendous amount of charisma, tremendous vision, and frankly, he could have talked me into anything that day. He happened to talk me into being a judge on this panel, but he was quite a salesman, quite a guy. But I think it's safe to say, obviously, in year number 5, that his vision and his goal to keep and create jobs in Scott County has certainly come to fruition because of this program. So thank you, Patrick. Appreciate it. So with that, great presentation. I really appreciate it. I've of course come prepared with questions to ask, and you answered my first one, which was the impact of COVID. So I appreciate that, and appreciate that struggle for sure that we've all had. My next question was, obviously one of the big criteria here, right, is Scott County job creation, and you have a very large building, and I commend you for a very big goal and very, very large vision. But when I think about it, I think about total addressable market, and I think about when you're tied to a physical location, the driving distance, right? And before a new Best Buy is built, for example, they fly an airplane over the building and they count the number of houses, within a 10-mile radius of that building. So I'm curious about like the average driving distance. I think this year you've got in baseball and performance 1,172 athletes. If you've thought about the average driving distance, how that might impact your growth, and what the total addressable market is, the total number of potential athletes and customers as you try to grow your business over the next 5 years.
Yeah, it's a great question. I know for us, we really considered that when we were looking at space. So our number one goal was to build, because we needed clear span and it's just not available in the market. So we view it as kind of a shift, but there's a great opportunity. As you know, Scott County is expanding down the 169 corridor, so there's going to be a ton of new families coming in. And so for us, we also draw from really a wide variety. I mean, we have families that come to us from Albert Lee, from Duluth, from Brainerd area, all the way to Eau Claire. The older they get, the wider our net is cast. And this facility will allow us to open doors to to potential new customers in different sports. So we've only ever really done baseball. So the goal for us would be to partner with potentially one or two other local organizations that can view this as their home, where they come there and they train, much less than what a Savage Sports Dome is, where they come there and they rent space. We want this to be viewed when you walk in the doors as a place that you train and a place that you call home. And so this just gives us the opportunity to continue to expand that reach.
I have a little bit of a follow-up question to that. You talk about being maxed out in your current facility, which means you've got a lot of demand. When you talk about these numbers, as they escalate and grow, how many more youth athletes do you need? And right now, is that kind of group of athletes kind of on this waiting list that wants to come to your facility, or are you needing to spend kind of marketing costs to kind of influence them away from somebody else to come to your facility?
So I think that in the packet of information, it also outlines just, there's a transition in baseball specifically to club baseball. There's 1,300 youth baseball teams in Minnesota alone. And that's transitioning much more from like a community base to a club base. And that was largely due to COVID. It's been talked about in our industry for the last decade, and we've always shied away from it, but the community people that were providing the resources in the community really weren't able to get baseball up and running last year. And it was a function of the timing. I mean, COVID happened mid-March where everyone's like trying out and getting their seasons up and running. And people didn't have options locally, and they decided to do their own thing. So for us, it's almost, we had to move in that direction and provide opportunities for our younger teams as well, because other organizations were. So if we weren't, we were just gonna get passed up. So we largely ran teams at 15s and up. Now we run teams all the way down to 10U throughout the year. So it's expanding that way as well. We're just providing more services to younger clients.
And if you ask our client manager, she'd tell you that her biggest issue is the wait list, because she'll get somebody who calls and says, hey, I'd like to get in. And right now, she literally has to tell them that they can't. And she's been doing that for 3 years now. So it puts her in a really tough spot. And it puts us in a tough spot because that pushes people to go to other clubs when they want to originally start with us. And a lot of that, there's a lot of good clubs, right? There's a lot of good performance training. So if they're not able to get in with us at first, they'll find a new home, and we want that to stop happening.
Thank you.
My question, I actually have 3 questions. One is I wanted to see if you could touch on adding in physical therapy and sports medicine. I mean, it seems that your current business model, that I'm looking at your 3 circles, that currently you're focused in 2 of the circles, and this is a new circle that you're contemplating. And if you would share with us how it is that you would see making your way there. Is that a partnering opportunity? Is it someone currently providing those services? So if you could touch on that circle, it looks like you're looking for revenue in 2022 there. That's question 1. Question 2 is, what are the other partnering relationships that you currently rely on in your current model, and what are the new ones that you would anticipate? You touched on also some of the other sports outside of baseball. I'd be interested in what those sports are. So really three questions.
Yeah, I'll start with the first one. So right now inside our current facility, we're partnered with Premier Sport and Spine. So they have a very small office space, but we do already have a letter of intent with a prominent, how am I allowed to say it? Prominent orthopedic company right now. Sorry, there's rules involved with that I can't say, but that's been through a relationship from our performance staff. They've been really great at referring out our athletes for the last 10 years. So when we came to them with this idea, it was really synergistic in what they wanted to do. And it's been really our easiest process of having them join what we do. And then I'll let Tom answer the second part as well.
So for us, in addition to that, we'll be able to offer these gray area services. Physical therapy and more specifically insurance only covers so much. So for us, we'll have sport performance and professionals that can blend a full return to sport, where PT might only cover you to a certain extent. So for us, there's an opportunity above and beyond just a lease relationship with an orthopedic company. And in addition to that, we're looking for kind of synergistic partners, not necessarily someone that can just fill our space, but shares common values with us. And we'll be shoulder to shoulder with them in our facility. So we want to make sure that they're doing and running their organization the same, similar ways that we would, because we will have a pretty intimate relationship. And we're looking for partners that share that vision and then also value the other resources that will be inside of the facility as well. So then everyone collectively can benefit. And it just depends. I mean, we're looking at lacrosse organizations, soccer, softball, just different sports outside of baseball.
Nice job. This is cool.
Thank you.
My question, yeah, really impressive. And your financials look great. Question for you is, so my kids are like rec league baseball players, and we're more in the like club hockey scene. What do you imagine as the prime sports targets for your facility outside of baseball? You're talking about we want to bring other sports in. Who are those target populations?
Yeah, I think softball and soccer would be the easiest to go. Softball, we could literally take our model and plug that in and have them go through it. And soccer, just from a spacing standpoint.
Sure.
We also have friends who are in lacrosse. So lacrosse makes me a little more weary just because they're hucking those balls all over the place. I'm not looking to get those dents everywhere, but that's also a possibility.
So what are the alternatives that people are choosing right now if they're not choosing MASH for their performance or their training? I mean, I'm thinking about Lifetime, and I'm also thinking about the Sports Dome, and you've touched on them, but where are the dollars being spent if they're not being spent with you?
Yeah, there's a number of youth sports organizations. There's competitors in the market. There's, Starters, North Star, Blizzard, Great Lakes. There are these organizations similar to us on the baseball side of things, but they haven't invested in the strength and conditioning and the resources and essentially the human resources that we have.
Sure.
So it's a little bit different in that regard. And then there are still community options and things of that nature if you're not quite as serious. The plan is to be more conducive to like field sports. We're not going to build hockey rinks, so probably shy away from hockey.
Maybe curling in the winter.
On the strength side, our population that we typically work with, I mean, we have added 65 adults in the last year to our membership base in the gym. But it's primarily youth athletes that have no training experience, so they need someone there to show them how to train effectively. And so for us, it's really important to create that for them. And our model is more of a personal training in a small group setting. Okay. So you come, you get assessed, you get a program based on your specific goals and needs and how often you want to come. And then our strength coaches are there to help facilitate their programming daily. So it's more content-based than it is duration-based when they come.
We're getting down to our final minute, and we want to give our final judge, Joseph, some time here.
Only a minute. Only
if you go over a minute, we'll allow it.
Now, I'll be quick. Youth sports has become really big business, hasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing. To answer the first question, my daughter played on a club softball team based in North Carolina. So if you build it, they will come. That's the answer to your question.
Yeah.
It's a really big building. So how do you pay for it in the summertime when there's nobody in it?
Oh, there'll be a lot of people in the summer.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
Well, we have, in the summer right now, we have close to 300 clients that are in there consistently throughout the year in our performance center.
So is it a membership-based model that you operate or a subscription-based modal?
Yeah, the gym is month to month.
Okay.
And it's anywhere between $125 for a 2-time-a-week youth membership to people pay $400 a month for unlimited training. And so it's much more relationship-based with our coaching staff. It's not a gym that you can come into and just use the equipment. It's not a Lifetime. It's not a Dakota. You're not going to go in there and just use the weights and leave. But we'll be able to expand our adult model a lot. We'll be able to expand all of our performance. We're increasing our performance footprint by about between 2,500 and 3,000 square feet. Because we anticipate with orthopedic, there's going to be a lot of overflow of clients from there that are going to train with us as well. So we've created a pretty consistent cash flow throughout the year, and the strength and conditioning with the baseball has been a really good synergy. And our baseball club's transitioning to more of an annual kind of subscription or team fee model as well. So there's going to be a consistent cash flow throughout the year.
Perfect. Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Thomas and Steve, for the presentation, and good luck. That concludes our first 20-minute segment. Now we're going to learn a little bit about Neon Lizard marketing while the other group gets set up here. Okay.
Hello. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. My name is Rebecca Roush. I am the head lizard at Neon Lizard Creative Marketing and Design. And we were lucky enough to be invited to be part of the Fast Track Challenge and help them design 4 years ago. And designing their entire brand, their signage, the books you get, everything you see on social media, their website, and we've had a blast doing it. It's been so much fun, and it's been fun to watch how everyone has grown and just blossomed by being part of this group. We ourselves were lucky enough to be invited into their incubator program where it was exponential growth for us. We are now a group of 9 when it started with just one little me. And so we're very, very honored to have been part of that. I am pleased and excited for all of the people in this today, and I know that you're going to love all the education you're going to get from the mentors. Alan, everybody has been so incredible for us. I also want to shout out to my project coordinator extraordinaire, Susan Hoover. She is with us and keeps me tethered and going forward. So we thank you very much for being a part of this, and congratulations to all of you. It's going to be great. I look forward to working with you.
Thanks, Rebecca. Rebecca was, as she says, she participated in the entrepreneurship, the technology village and stuff, serves as a mentor now, and also provides a lot of services for some of the people getting into it and stuff like that. So, and she's one of our sponsors today, and thank you very much. And we must be getting ready for our next one. Our second finalist tonight, a company called Chef's Crest. Matthew Fulfack, CEO, created Chef's Crest, the home of homemade food, an online marketplace for homemade food. The platform makes it easier for home-based businesses, food businesses, to sell their delicious homemade food products to individuals in their communities and beyond. The online platform allows home-based food businesses to gain customers through Chef Crest marketing strategies and benefit from online transactions. Matthew is a registered cottage food producer with a background in neuroscience. He understands the struggles of starting a home-based food business, the importance of food on our health, the importance of trusting communities. The company is based in Savage. It was incorporated in 2021. Matthew, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'd just like to start off with a question out here. Who amongst you have ever been to a farmer's market? Perfect. And bought anything over there? Perfect. All right. I'll come to that later. So yeah, Chef's Crest is an online marketplace for homemade food, and we work under the cottage food law. So, and next I'm just going to explain what the cottage food law is. So the cottage food law is a law that the Minnesota government with the Department of Agriculture passed that allows individuals to make certain items from their home and sell it to the general public. So some of those items may include like cookies, some pies, but there's restrictions to items, but it's a good amount where people can actually sell from their house. And the benefit of having a law like that is that it allows people to start businesses, like get into entrepreneurship. And with that, it makes it easier for them to set up a business from their house. And since it's all remote, they don't have to leave their house, and they understand the whole process of everything because they're all in their house and they don't have to commute anywhere. So that's just a brief summary of what the cottage food law is. And just to go ahead to explain why the people who start home-based food businesses have struggles. So once individuals who start home-based food businesses create their food business or register with the Minnesota Department of Agriculture, the one thing that they always fall into trouble with is marketing their products. So obviously the stuff that they make is great, but now who can they reach, to get their product and buy it from them? That's one thing that they struggle with. Another thing too is that if they do set up that kind of a business and they want to sell online, they don't have the right software infrastructure to process transactions online, because it might seem like we're all used to putting our credit cards into online things, buying from like Marshalls, Macy's, and all that stuff. But the actual back-end infrastructure for that is not easy for one person to handle, especially if they're not, accustomed to software themselves. And the other thing too is that once they struggle from those two things, they also struggle with getting sales. So their sales are not going to be increased. And the other side of it is that for the customers who are buying some of those things, they don't know where to find anyone with that kind of stuff. Like, who do they know around, apart from like if it's a friend or family, but who do they actually know in their neighborhood who make stuff like that? And another thing is that, do they trust that person if they go buy it from them? So with our platform, we're going to be solving those problems. So on our platform, we're going to make it easy for individuals who start those businesses by, once they add their products on our platform, they'll benefit from the marketing strategies that we use. So that could go into like online marketing on like Facebook, Google, or Instagram, but it also involves like community, because that's another thing too that we can miss, because having partnerships with businesses, having partnerships with like, local vendors and all those things definitely helps with getting the word out about a particular item or a particular business. And the other thing too is that for the customers, it will make it easy for them to just type in a zip code, see who pops up and what pops up, and they'll be able to order it from there. And for the customers, the trust that it creates for them is that the people who join our platform, we do a background check on them. We make sure that they have the registration with the Department of Agriculture. So that ensures that if anyone who's buying from us can trust that we made sure that people who are joining our platform are actually verified and are credible to join the platform. So like I said before, for the individuals joining our platform, it's absolutely free. So once they join to our platform for the businesses, it's free for them to sign up. The reason being because having a home-based business is hard enough for them to set up like margins and everything for their business. So making it free for them gives them the opportunity to have good enough margins for their own business, because they're actually running a business, even though it's from their house. So our current way we do it is that we charge 10% of each transaction that's processed on our platform, and that gives us enough margins for our marketing and also gives them enough margin for their business. And on our platform, or in general with the cottage food industry, we do see that an average order is between $25 to about $35, so just like $30. So that gives it a good amount that if you're making an order for someone, you can make a large enough quantity to know that, okay, I'm not just making like a $2 cookie or like something enough, but it's actually a huge enough amount that they can actually make good money from like the size of the order that they're doing. So basically what our platform looks like right now is going to be what you see up there. So once individuals come into our platform, they'll be able to go through a couple different tabs. So if they click on the Chefs tab, they'll be directed to what the image you see on the top there. So once they get in there, if they know the person directly, they can either search the name up, or if they don't know who's making food in the area, they can type in a zip code, and then the people who make food in that area is going to pop up around there. And same thing with the image down below. If they click on the menu tab, they'll be directed to like a whole menu of items, and they can put in a zip code, and the images that will pop up will be the individuals who make food in that particular area. The reason being because according to the cottage food law, you're only allowed to, the person who has a business can either deliver the item to you, or you, the person who's ordering from them, has to go pick it up from them. There's not any intermediary or delivery system that's allowed currently. And that's sort of a struggle for some of them. So that's why we make it in such a way that if you're looking for someone to order from them, we try to make it as possible that it's in a neighborhood where you can have like a 10-minute drive, 15-minute drive, or you actually know how far you're going to drive before you order it from them. So the last time when I was here, there were roughly 78 cottage food producers in Scott County. And now it's actually 100. So that number has increased from then, like about August, let's say October 1st to October 21st. And out of those 100, 20 of them are right here in Prior Lake. So when you guys were driving in here, you actually crossed someone who has a homemade food business, and you had no idea that the person had it. And in the state of Minnesota in general, there's about 5,000 of individuals who have cottage food businesses from their house. And that's a number that's increased significantly over the past few years since we started in 2015. And out of those 5,000, there's a two-tier system with the cottage food law. So tier 1 allows individuals to make roughly, it was 5,000 a couple years ago, but as of last August actually, sorry, it was up to 7,800, sorry. And for the tier 2 system, individuals can create like an LLC from their house, and they can make up to $78,000 a year. And you might be wondering like, okay, it's cool, which other state has the cottage food law in their state? That's a map of the whole United States and all the states that have it. So the green shows that every state in the United States has a cottage food law. And depending on like how free they are, it could let you know like what the individual is able to make from the house. So the blue state there is Wyoming, and they're an interesting state because with their own cottage food law, individuals who make food from the house can actually sell to restaurants, they can sell to grocery stores, and they're able to make actually up to $250,000 a year from their house. With other states, they're also allowed to sell to grocery stores or it's like restaurants, but other states restricted. And the state in the corner right there with the arrow is pointing is the state of New Jersey, and they passed the cottage food law last year during the pandemic, and individuals in New Jersey are now able to register their cottage food business from their house and sell to individuals in New Jersey. And just like a little projection of financials, like I mentioned before, individuals here in Minnesota with an LLC can make up to $78,500 in sales. So with our model, we're able to bump the remaining 4,500 individuals quite easily from the tier 1 to the tier 2 system. And that's gonna bring in like an annual sales for them of roughly $393 million for them. And with our 10% commission, it's gonna bring us roughly $19 million in sales and revenue for us. And another thing too that's been happening for individuals in sort of kind of a business is that they do catering events, specific catering events. Let's say, for example, if you have a specific birthday cake, they wanted to have a custom birthday cake or a custom cultural type of menu item. This is kind of a business that would flourish in that kind of environment. And according to the IBS World, the valuation of the catering industry in the United States is roughly $133 billion. And with that, there's roughly about 323 million catering events that are happening off-premise and on-premise that be like at a specific location or at the individual's house. And if we get a 5% market share of that, our valuations and revenues would be about $6.5 billion or potential revenues of $435 million a year. So building such kind of a business requires steps and it requires certain things to make it work. And as you see on the left there, the white covered ones are the ones that we've already accomplished so far. So with that, we have been able to build the infrastructure. We've been able to have the right team of individuals to lead this kind of a project. And we've had some feedback from our customers. And on the right there with the red circled ones are the things that through this competition we'll be able to achieve. And just a look of a picture right here, the remainder of the team is not here, but I'm the only one representing, but they'll be glad to know that I'm here and they're actually supporting me. So that's all I have for you right now, and I'll look forward to any questions that you have.
Thank you, Matthew. We'll start with questions, and Joseph, we'll let you go first, and we'll come back down the line this way.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. So as I read through your presentation materials and listened to your presentation, one question that I had, if you had thought about this or planned for this. So if I, as a customer, use your site and I hook up with a great home food producer and I have a great meal, what's to prevent me from cutting out the middleman on my next meal?
That's definitely true. That's something we definitely thought about and, has given me some nightmares. I'm not going to lie about that.
That's okay.
But the thing is, for individuals who might want to cut out the middleman like me, you'll be cutting out a lot more options they could be open to. If you like that one particular person, it's true, you can go ahead and meet them like that, but there's going to be also certain liabilities that you're going to fall into. Let's say, for example, something doesn't work out with that person or you get some sort of food poisoning or anything. I don't wish that for you, of course, but let's just say you have a disagreement with the person. You're going to be liable for that yourself, but through our platform, you can prevent some of those stuff because we actually do the background check for the person and everything else.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Matthew, nice job.
Thank you.
On your target market. I love all the little cottage food makers around here. Two questions for you. How do you think about jobs created in Scott County to support the growth of this business? It's a software platform, so I'm just thinking you could theoretically do it anywhere. How are you guys thinking about jobs? And I'm curious how you landed on the 10% commission rate, because that's a little bit higher than like what Venmo is charging for just the transaction fee. So walk me through the logic on that 10%, how you guys landed on that.
Yeah, okay. So to answer the question about jobs creation, so with our platform, we'll not only be creating jobs in the sense that we'll actually be creating businesses in local areas. So when individuals sign up for our platform, they're actually creating a business for themselves. So it would not just be like a job, but also it should be a business and actually work from home. So anybody from their house, anywhere, can create a business for themselves, and that increases not only the benefits of that business to the general public, but also the community and the state that they're in. And for the 10% aspect, we actually came about that number because we didn't want to make it in such a way where we're overreaching into like their profit margins. For the first year, if you look into the documents that you have ahead of you, we put it at 5% for the first year, so that we don't infringe on like any of the revenues. We're just like getting to know them. But with the additional sales that they're going to get from our platform, the 10% margin is going to help them increase their margin to also help us with the additional marketing and everything that we spend to help them increase their sales and reach out to the community.
Yeah, Matthew, great job.
Thank you.
My question is really around, so right now 5 chefs are using the platform?
Yes, that was before I actually came here. We're roughly at like 12 right now.
Got it. Congratulations on the growth.
Thank you.
I'm curious, in your presentation, you commented on some of the things you've learned from those 5 chefs. And I'd be really interested in, and if you can specifically, what have you learned relative to value creation, what you've done for those, those home chefs, and how does that tie into the additional functionality that you would envision for the platform that has yet to be built?
Yes, definitely. So one thing that kind of shocked me, not really shocked me, but I kind of got a little bit more insight, was that most of the individuals who create cottage food businesses are moms. And with that, they have a busy schedule with themselves. So once they have the cottage food business, they also have to maintain like a family life and on top of a job that they have. So one feature that we added on the platform currently is to create like hours where if an order is placed, they'll only be able to pick up like during like the free hours that the person included in like their profile. So if they say, for example, a cottage food producer is busy Monday through Friday, but they're available on the weekend. If someone places an order, they'll only be able to pick up during that period when the person's available. So that's one of the things that we learned. And coming about to like the reason why we chose 10% is that we actually got to understand like what their profit margins are and what they do. So those are some of the things that we learned from individuals with cottage food businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you.
Hi.
Nice presentation.
Thank you.
I have just a question to talk a little bit about marketing. So you talked about your chefs going from 5 to 12, but your projections say 1,000. So have you thought about what's really the marketing to grow the number of chefs, obviously, that you need, but also maybe talk a little bit, I know in your documentation you really thought about providing kind of these channels and access to restaurants, hospitality, farmers markets. So I'd like to hear kind of on both sides how you're going to kind of grow really kind of the numbers of people that are providing the product, but then also that are going to be your consumers and users of that.
Yeah, so in terms of growing the product, we actually have a partnership with the Minnesota Cottage Food Producer Association. So they're the ones who manage all the cottage food producers in the whole Minnesota. And we've had conversations with the president and the entire group, and they're willing to help promote us. In addition to that, we've been having, the people who join our platform have been members of like the restaurant industry, and they know someone who could be a good fit for that. So they've been recommending us to someone else who would be a good fit for this, and that's how, through that kind of a means, we'll be growing the number of people who provide it. And in terms of like the customers, like people who buy from them, we would would be present in like events around the community that people don't necessarily take advantage of. Like say, for example, Savage has a Halloween festival that's coming up on the 31st. So events like that would definitely get the word out in terms of knowing that, okay, something like this is available in your community and they can have access to homemade food from individuals around them.
Yeah, and it also seems like, a great aspect of growth is when you get into places like local grocery stores and because some of those channels. Can you talk a little bit about kind of how you might help facilitate that?
Yeah, so actually from Minnesota, it might not be possible right now because the cottage food law hasn't caught up to allowing individuals to sell to restaurants and like grocery stores and stuff like that. But definitely with there's certain specific like cultural grocery stores, and they've actually been willing to host some of those items, even though it might not be like a fighting point right now with the law that's not up to date with that. But definitely grocery stores like that, local like mom and pop shops, like set up areas, the people that we talk to are willing to put stuff like that out and get the word out to know that a platform like this exists.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I love learning about new industries, and so as you were speaking, I quickly pulled up the cottage food laws on the state of Minnesota website and was quickly getting up to speed. Just one comment: in my past I've invested in an online pet marketplace, and that may be a direction I'd recommend you explore further, given that pet snacks is one of the cottage foods here. And for whatever reason, we as humans and pet owners, we have a tendency to spend a lot of money on our pets. So it could be a great growth engine for you. You have a really unique challenge, right? Most online businesses, you have customer acquisition costs. You have to bring customers to your website to purchase your. You have a double challenge, right? You have to bring customers to your website to purchase the cottage foods, but you also have to bring chefs to the website to provide the supply, if you will. And everyone thinks growth is linear. It's actually a step function. You build supply, and then you have to drive demand, build supply, drive demand. So it sounds like you've been focused to date on the supply side, on the chef side. Have you spent any money yet on acquiring a customer digitally through driving demand and traffic to the website?
Yeah, so prior to actually building the platform, we were just testing out the idea to see if it's even going to be valuable, and we did our own personalized little marketing on Facebook and joined certain Facebook groups. There's actually a group on there that it's called Minnesota Foodies, and it's around a local group where individuals around the community post stuff about food, want to know who around the neighborhood makes what kind of a thing, and if I make spaghetti and meatballs for dinner and it looks really cool, I'll post it on there and stuff like that. So through that kind of marketing, we're able to increase sales for a couple of our cottage food producers. That was prior to even setting up the platform, just to test the idea. And we know that doing something like that is going to bring customers in. So we actually understand, okay, that's going to be one of the means that we're going to use to get customers to the website to drive demand for it.
No, that's great. It's a great answer. The other thing I was going to ask if you thought about, believe it or not, in Minnesota we have some very large food influencers globally. My next door neighbor, Food Dolls on Instagram, has over 100,000 followers. Have you thought about partnering with one of the influencers here locally to drive demand for your website?
Yeah, we've been trying to reach out to a few. We've been having conversations with some of them, but until we get to a good enough point where we have the critical capacity to actually, once we bring that number of people to the platform to order, we need to have a good amount of a variety of items on the platform to get people to order. So we've definitely been having conversations with that. We've had conversations with people in the restaurant industry who, could get us out to people as well. So partnering with people, we've had that conversation already, and we're having some people who would be a good fit for promoting that word out for us.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. Thank you for your presentation, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you. And just one more thing, these cookies are actually made by one of the local cottage food producers, and she made them out of the logos of the people presenting here. So if you wanted to grab one of yours, I'll put it out there for you guys.
Thank you, very clever. Okay, we'll take a short break here while the next presenter gets ready. And while we're doing that, I would like to share a couple stories of some past participants in this event and their success stories. In 2019, company Farmhouse Market launched their launched their new consulting business that they had pitched in the 2019 competition here. Information on their company can be found at farmhousemarketnp.com/consulting. We don't have much for figures or anything on what they're doing, but we understand it's going very well and helping other towns and stuff get where there's food insecurity or lack of food availability. Another company is Hugo Ware. Hugo Ware started 5 years ago. The company designs and produces 100% waterproof dry pack that floats. The product line includes bags for phones, tablets, XL tablets, and in 2020 they introduced the Hugo Slim, which is a smaller bag that holds up to 3 phones, and it's at a lower price point. Hugo Ware received the Best New Product and Best Overall Product for their Hugo tablet and the Best Booth Display at the Newport International Boat Show in September 2019, where over 600 vendors were attending. Hugo Ware is the winner of the 2018 Fast Track Challenge. With the challenges of COVID-19, all marketing trade shows were canceled, so they pivoted to online sales and bumped up their marketing. In January 2021, they graduated from Technology Village and are now leasing an office space off Bowden Street in Prior Lake. The company has 2 full-time employees, the co-founders, and additional contract workers. So congratulations to Hugo Ware. In 2017, the first year of the Scott Fast Track Challenge, the winner was Ion Concert Media, Inc., and has been awarded the Technology Innovation Grant by the state of Minnesota in December of 2020. The funding was provided through Launch Minnesota, a program of the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. Ion Concert Media was one of 14 Minnesota startups to receive funding. The grant provides up to $24,500 in a 1-1 cash match for project-related expenses over the next year. Company founder and CEO Scott Winters is using the grant dollars will be used to develop a new product line. Ion Concert's media music was part of the St. Olaf Choir and St. Olaf Orchestra's Jocelyn Hagen's The Notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci on October 9th of 2021. A clip is available on the website of ionconcertmedia.com/blog/news, etc. And Scott is with us here tonight, back in the corner over there. Congratulations, Scott. So there's a couple of success stories I want to share, and I've got a couple more I'll share in the next break as well. Are we getting ready for the next presentation? We are. Okay. Our next company, third company, is Baby No, a speech language pathologist, pediatric occupational therapist professor, and 2 licensed early childhood parent educators. Do we get all that? Have teamed up to develop an online video program focusing on infant growth and development. The educational programming empowers parents to teach their babies' activities, including speech, language, and play, fine motor, gross motor, sensory processing development, vision, and general parent education. The Baby No program also provides parents with mindfulness and positive affirmation activities to do for themselves, with their babies and or with their Caitlin families. The company developed by Candy. Are you Candy?
I'm Candy.
Welcome, Candy. A PhD, CC-SLP, and then we got Bethany DeJarnett. Is that pronounced correct? Okay. And Wendy Walls. Is that correct?
You got it.
Okay. All right, Candy, the floor is yours.
We failed to mention 2 people. Cinnamon Tyson is our other early childhood parent educator, and then Caitlin Raz is our speech language pathologist. So on behalf of them, I am honored to be here, and thank you so much. We honor all of you for giving us your time today and sharing your talents, and we thank Scott County for having this competition. So as I mentioned, or as they mentioned, I am Candy Sile with Baby No, Bodies, Hearts, and Minds. So what is the problem that Baby No is seeking to solve? When you have a brand new baby, you go home and you're probably exhausted. You're having a hard time getting food on the table. You might be overwhelmed, and at times it's scary. You're like, what was that color of poop I was not supposed to remember to watch for? Or what temperature? Or why does my baby not stop crying? And so parents want to go to bed at night thinking, I've done enough to support the growth and development of my baby. And additionally, it takes a long time to look for information on the internet. Sometimes you're scrolling through YouTube channels, sometimes you're looking at mommy blogs, and you're like, I just want that one answer. And so what we do, or why is this important to me? These are my two children, Luke and Landon, and I remember as a new mom thinking, okay, everybody keeps telling me, read, sing, talk to your babies, 20 minutes a day. Read, sing, talk to your babies. And I did that. But I kept thinking, well, what does that mean for their development of their body? How do I teach them to roll over if they're not doing that? How do I teach that pincher grasp to get food in their mouth? Or how do I teach them the social emotional, like just reading to them, like how do I teach them to be kind or show them that I love them? And I can do some of that, but let's think about doing it in a much more comprehensive way. So at Baby Know Bodies, Hearts, and Minds, we empower parents to be the first and most important teacher of their baby. And we do that by providing 52 weekly videos for the parents to watch. They are 5 to 25-minute videos that parents can access at any time of the day. Some of them are watching them at 2 a.m. when they're doing those nightly feedings. And we know that parents are smart. So how we've done this is we've created a year-long course that we've broken up into different modules. 0 to 3 months, 4 to 6 months, 7 to 9 months, and 10 to 12 months, knowing that babies develop very differently kind of in those categories. We give them the fine motor sensory integration lessons, gross motor, speech, language, and play, vision, school readiness, some curriculum learning, and being ready for school. We give general parent advice, and then positive affirmation statements for parents to use with their babies. And then the thing that's really unique about Baby Know is we've combined the medical community, so we have a speech language pathologist and the occupational therapist, the 2 early childhood parent educators, and then a well-being instructor to really comprehensively support the growth and development of the parents and the babies during that first year of life. And the other thing that we do is we include 7 lessons. So each week after you watch your video, you get to go home and try these really easy, simple things, put Cheerios in an ice cube tray, and that helps the baby develop pincher grasp. Super easy things to do to reinforce that learning at home. So what is the price? We are charging $297 for the year-long course, or $89 per unit. So parents might want to come in and test this out, or if your baby is 7 months old, you might just want to enroll in the 3rd and the 4th unit. Our 5-year goal is to capture 5% of the market, which would generate $44.5 million in revenue. So how is Baby Know better than the competition? So there are other online programs, but parents have to kind of piecemeal everything together and search for like an infant CPR class or a sleep course. We are all in one place for parents to find and participate in. As I already mentioned, we're taught by educators and clinicians, and that also is a differentiator in this space. And the thing that we think is really important is Baby Know opens with mindfulness. So we invite the learner to take some deep breaths, to look at their baby, to appreciate their baby, and to be present to learning. And we tell the learners that you and your baby know together. And that's a really important differentiator because there's a lot of research right now about mindfulness and how we're better in our moments. We're not stressed, we're more present, and we also have better health outcomes or better school and work success by doing mindfulness. And finally, we have positive affirmation statements. So we share with parents how to tell their baby different things like, baby, you are beautiful. What you are creating is going to be beautiful for the world. So we really share all those ideas to use with the parents. So where is Baby Know? We spent 2020 developing the course. We enrolled our first beta testers in 2021. We are now in the hustle phase, or the research and exploration. We are meeting with anybody and everybody to talk to them. We've recently met with a high school program that wants to use Baby Know with teen parents. And so we're looking to sign a contract with them, and then they will get high school credits in health and science for taking Baby Know. We are also working with businesses. And so the Minnesota Itasca project came together and said that businesses have a really important responsibility to support babies during that first 3 years of life, because 90% of the growth of brain development happens in those first 3 years. And not only is that for employee retention, but then the future workforce. So we're looking at working with some businesses to support them. And we've also been talking a lot with neonatal intensive care unit staff to figure out how we can use this in the hospital setting. We are hoping for the rest of the year to do our work on preliminary sales and then run pilots in these different categories, which then we want to publish the findings in academic journals and at national conferences, including the American Academy of Pediatrics. So in 2022, we're going to refine our market. Are we going to be more in the business-to-business, schools, direct-to-consumer? And we also hope to look at targeting both parents and grandparents to buy the course as a gift for their grandbaby. And then we're going to hire our sales staff. In 2023 and beyond, we know that it's going to take a while, so we are going to work with the hospital systems, which will be a little bit slower go, and then also look at government funding. So what are the sizes of the market? Minnesota is trending about 70,000 babies born per year, and the United States has 3 million. We have about 500, a little less than 500 high schools in our state, and about 30,000 in the United States. Businesses, obviously, Baby No is going to work with mid to large size. We do not want mom and pop shops. We need to have businesses that have a cohort of people having babies together, so 148,000 or 32.5 million in the U.S. And then finally, in that last category, about 130 hospitals in in Minnesota and 6,000 in the United States. We currently have 5 employees, and so as we mentioned, the instructor of well-being, myself, and we have 2 early childhood parent educators, our speech language pathologist, and our occupational therapist. We are seeking to hire a sales force in 2022, and we are really targeting moms or dads who are caregivers that are staying at home and need a flexible schedule. We want to look at, as we refine our market, people who have connections in the education, business, or hospital industry. And then we anticipate having some more jobs in the future as we enroll different channels. We think there's going to be a need for an account representative. So if we're getting all high school students enrolled, clearly we're going to have to track and make sure that they're graduating on time or they're getting their graduation credits done or the course is done. And then we also anticipate needing a social media manager and an accountant. So our future vision of Baby No, Bodies, Hearts, and Minds is we are in the hands of 150,000 families in 5 years. Parents are feeling empowered for their social emotional well-being. They feel empowered to take care of themselves and their babies and their families, and that babies really are on track to reach their developmental milestones and have success in life and beyond. And with that, I'll end with some of the quotes from our learners.
Move on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll start with questions, and Angela, will go with you first, and then we'll come to Charles, and then go back to the other end and come this way. Sorry, Kurt, you're going to be last.
Great.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Exciting to know there's tools out there for a very critical and interesting time, I think, for parents. One of the questions I guess that I have certainly is content development. I know there's probably a core of this that is very similar and doesn't change, but I'm curious a little bit about, even as I look at your financial statements, the amount of money and the commitment, I guess, as it relates to content development and then creation of that in a format that continues to make it interesting for people to kind of want to engage.
Yeah, so we filmed all of this during COVID. So we also know that we do have a need to update some of the content to actually have families that represent more of what we can see across America. We had to work with families that were willing to participate with us. So we do need to update it. The other thing that we know is there's going to be need to update. So as we're working with this high school channel, we don't have a lot of representation of high school kids playing with their babies. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think that there's going to be more need to update the content as we go on. We also are in conversations with maybe doing a prenatal mindfulness course right now. And so we also think that there is a channel to support pregnant women before they deliver and give birth, and then that could be a feeder into the Baby No course.
Just one other quick question. Have you thought also about the connection with the healthcare insurance industry? I think about just in our own business about what we're offering to our own employees about wellness and care and all of those things that are preventative to that, and then really also companies being willing to make an expenditure for something like this on employees' behalf.
Yeah. So the Itasca Project was the group of businesses that created that report, The First 1,000 Days of Life, and the importance of investing in the first 3 years and supporting employees. So we would like to run a pilot with one of the businesses that was the author, and they're doing pilots, and they're also kind of sharing best practices amongst themselves. The other conversation that I recently had, which is in the business plan, but I'm not supposed to say out loud, is we have had a conversation with a company that does insurance, and what they're thinking about is offering Baby No as an incentive. So when you go to your prenatal visits or your well-child checkups, that could be something that you choose as an incentive, as a reward for going.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great job. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
When my first daughter was born, my mom said that there was no manual, and so I just texted her and said there's a manual now. She has no context as to, we'll see what she replies with, but I thought it was really smart. When you think about lifetime value of your customer, teen moms, I hadn't thought of that portion, but if you can create content that really does have great ideas and does work and makes a mom's life and dad's life easier, certainly in those critical times, I think the word will get out for a long period of time. That's probably a good segue into my question, which is the book Happiest Baby on the Block saved my wife and I's life. Honestly, we've probably sold 1,000 copies because we tell everybody about it, and because it literally got our babies to sleep, and we were able to, that first full night of sleep was a big deal. So along the lines of Angela, can you tell me just a little bit more about like the videos? Are these like, general practice, like here's some advice, or are we talking like Happiest Baby on the Block? Are we talking about actual, specific to-dos to make your life, better and easier for you as the parent and more healthier for the baby?
Some of both. So we actually reference Happiest Baby on the Block, and there's also a doctor that does this hold where you put your baby on and they suck the finger and you walk them around, and so we'll showcase some of those best practices in the content. And so what I failed to mention is actually we have 70 plus collective years of experience in this space. So we know a lot of the best practices and heard from some of those experts. We share with parents things like how to listen to your baby's cries and know what they're saying. And like oddly, I did this with my kids, and I remember being like, I think that's a unhappy cry, or that's a gas cry. And so you can really get in tune to your baby. And so that's not anything that we've created, but we share those practices to show here's some of the things that you can do. The thing that's unique and different is because we have that speech language pathologist, oftentimes a kid, if you have a language delay, you won't get diagnosed until 2 years old. And that's a huge cost to the family. So what she's doing is she's showing you how to teach babbling through play. Like for instance, when you're breastfeeding a baby or feeding a baby, when the baby stops, and I failed at this, when the baby stops and looks up, they want you to talk to them. And now they're watching for language formation. And so really simple things that you wouldn't know them if you didn't know them. But at the same time, when you start to understand them, you're like, wow, that's really interesting. One of the other things that our occupational therapist shares is go in a dark room and flash a flashlight and the baby starts tracking. And so that's an important skill for vision. So really getting your whole body to work. And when things aren't working, I think parents are like, well, that baby's way ahead of my kid. I've done that. And so you're wondering, what are they doing that I'm not? Or what tips, because to me, it's not common sense. I wouldn't have thought to put Cheerios in an ice cube tray to get that pincher grasp going, but it makes sense. Or to cut a baby sock and put it on your fingers and have them use 2 fingers when picking up rattles or other things. So it's a combination.
That's great. So you've just confirmed that there is a manual coming, so that's great. And just one last observation, at $297 average sale price, when you think about hiring a salesperson and the amount of compensation that they will expect in terms of, somebody that's going to have all the relationships that that person's going to need, you'll have to sell the solution at scale, right, at a very high volume. So I might think about word of mouth, social media, digital channels prior to hiring a salesperson. But great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the advice.
This is a great concept. So we all sign non-disclosure agreements, right? but as I was looking at this at home, without breaching my non-disclosure agreement, my wife was sitting next to me, and she's an early childhood educator, and I was explaining the concept to her, and she said, "Can we invest?" So if you're looking for people, I'll give you my wife's name.
Thank you.
The question I have relates to the interactiveness of this, if there is such a thing. So as a dumb guy, right, not knowing a lot about babies, I watch a video and I have questions. How do I get my questions answered?
That's a great thing. So we are housed right now within the Teachable platform. And so you have the opportunity to ask for private coaching, and that's an hourly fee. And so you can reach out and you can ask us directly. We also have our email address listed on the website, so you can contact us that way. We are looking at building in with our high school pilot office hours, because we anticipate, some of these parents we've heard of, like they're having a hard time holding down a job or paying their rent, right? And now they've got a baby. And so we're anticipating that they're going to need more support and guidance. So again, the pilot, like we need to learn what kind of support's needed to go along with the product.
Great, thank you.
Love the presentation. I have a 9-week-old, so I am like, where can I sign up? Because I have forgotten everything about having babies. My question for you is kind of around your lifetime value and like how you think about your revenue stream. So 279, 297?
297.
297 is much more expensive than Happiest Baby on the Block, but like pretty reasonable in the realm of things people pay for subscription-wise these days. I think about things like the Bump app or What to Know when you're, like there's some apps that my sense is they're free, but they're lead generation for the other products that are being constantly pushed through those apps. I think if you go through Humana, United, self-insured companies as a benefit, you wouldn't have that. And so you might be able to drive that higher LTV. But if you're going to think about direct to consumer, you might think about other revenue streams. Like, have you guys given any thought to how you would manage that decision making, or where you might, like 297 is a totally respectable LTV, but it's not, when you start to think about acquisition costs, you can eat into that pretty quickly.
Yeah, so I think we'd have to do a little bit more research on that, quite honestly. And then I think just off the cuff, we have looked at offering some like affiliate marketing rates. And so what we want to do, and one of the things that we stand by as our company, is we want to honor. So if we have other like social media influencers that are sharing it, what we're understanding is 20% is a high rate to give an affiliate marketer. So we want to look at like being competitive, or we want to honor what they're contributing to that. But I think we have a little bit more research to do as we're refining our sales strategy, and 2022 is where we hope to do that. Great job. Thank you.
Actually, I appreciated Angela's question. I mean, my thoughts, certainly as a parent with a now 31-year-old and a 32-year-old, so this could potentially be a gift for them in another couple of years. But my question is, and Angela hit on one, was insurance industry, right? Wellness. Mm-hmm. But the other one is childcare centers. I'm curious if, in terms of this platform, is it something that our childcare centers, their professionals, could potentially be credentialed on? I have learned here in Pearl Lake, as we just opened up yet again another childcare facility, it is these youngsters. It's the 0 to 1 that, quite honestly, are filling them up. It's the toddler in these COVID days that apparently is going to the next door neighbor's house and grandma's house. Or our childcare centers are full on their licensed infants. So I'd be curious what your thoughts are relative to this in the professional childcare setting as a potential place, a beachhead, as it were, to then go from there and then up to the parents through the child care setting.
So we haven't thought of going to the parents through the child care center, but what we have thought of is training the child care providers themselves. So Minnesota has a platform called Develop, which is the continuing education credit. So we are in conversation with them to get this as an accredited course that daycare providers can produce. I did not put it up here 10 minutes is fast. But there are about, I think it was like 14,000, I might have my numbers wrong. I thought it was 14,000 licensed child care providers in the state. Yeah, but then I think when you go at home, it's like crazy. It's a lot higher. And we talked to a daycare provider who did at-home care, and she said one of her favorite things about Baby No is being able to pull 1 or 2 activities, because she's like, when you're so busy with the toddlers and everybody in diaper changes, she's like, I want to make sure that I give that baby the attention. And so she's like pulling this out, doing 1 activity. Great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Candy?
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll take another short break here while we're waiting for the next presenter to get ready. And I'm going to share a couple more success stories while we're doing that. Hobby Farmer Canning Company produces Switchel Fizz, an all-natural prebiotic beverage that gives you energy, relieves inflammation, and helps with digestion. They offer several flavors: organic apple cider vinegar, organic ginger juice, clover honey, and Minnesota water. The company also produces pickles and beets. Despite the challenges of COVID in 2020, they launched a new e-commerce website and received positive feedback. They are now shipping product to all 50 states. With input from their mentor, Sarah Jones, they decided to expand into Hard Switchel. Hobby Farmer Canning Company, our 2019 winner, recently was awarded the 2021 Good Food Award for a new product they just launched, Hard Switchel. The 2021 winners in 17 categories came from 41 states, Washington, D.C., and Guam. Hobby Farmer rose to the top amongst the 1,928 entries in a September blind tasting test. Jeff Cerisi stated, "Without the help and input of our mentor and advisory board, I don't think we would have been able to make the forward progress we did during a national pandemic and statewide shutdown. Thank you for a Fast Track Challenge." So that was another success story there. Last year, there was the owners of Wild Ruffle in Prior Lake pitched their business idea. They were not one of the winners, but that doesn't mean it was a bad idea. This concept became reality in 2021, and they were recently featured in Twin Cities Live in July of 2021. Jake D. St. Hubert, owner of Euroworks Automotive Specialties in New Prague, was our winner last year. The first place winner, and he went from $7,000 in sales in January of 2020 to $70,000 in sales in 2021 January. So very, very nice to see some of these success stories happening. With that, our fourth presentation is ready. Steelhead Outdoors, an innovative safe company offering the only modular, fire-insulated, made-in-USA gun safe available quickly on the market. Longtime friends, engineers, and avid outdoorsmen, Corey Meyer and Charlie Pearson, co-founders, created the patent-pending product that is now being manufactured in Prior Lake. They plan to add welders, assemblers, material handlers, design engineers, and sales customer service staff as their team, and as they grow. So with that, Corey and Charlie, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for having us. What's the first thing you think of when you think of a safe? You're probably picturing a giant steel box weighing hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. If you have one, you probably think back to the time you moved it in or out of your home. All the free beer and pizza on the planet wasn't enough to get your friends, your family to come help you move it. Truth is, safes are nearly impossible to move without specialized equipment or professional movers. And even then, most traditional safes purchased from big box stores are impossible to fit into small spaces such as closets, get up a narrow staircase into an attic, or into your basement.
Gun safes are a major investment, and yet so many people say, when I move, I hope the new owners want me to leave this safe behind. When you move, you don't leave your car behind or your computer, so why not have a safe that you can easily take with you to your next home, your next living situation, or wherever your life might take you next? The average American moves more than 10 times, and professional movers cost hundreds of dollars. So now we finally have a safe that will last you several lifetimes, and you can pass on to future generations.
I'm Charlie Pearson from Prior Lake, Minnesota,
I'm Corey Meyer from Shakopee, Minnesota.
and we are the founders of Steelhead Outdoors. And we are here to tell you about the first and only American-made, fire-insulated gun safe on the market. Our safes are proudly designed and manufactured entirely in Scott County, Minnesota.
So what is a modular safe? We're glad you asked. A modular safe ships to you in pieces instead of one large, heavy and immobile safe. Because of this, you're able to move it in 6 panels and they're able to assemble it on site in places that you could never get a safe before. It's very easily assembled. Each panel is light enough that 2 adults can move it without any specialized equipment. All you need are 2 people, 2 included wrenches, and 2 hours. And now your safe is finally a lifetime investment that will adapt to your next home, and you can pass it on to your kids and your kids' kids.
Our standard line of modular safes is available in 3 sizes. The Nomad 26 for apartments, small gun collections, in closets, anywhere. The Nomad 32, our mid-size bestseller, and the Nomad 38, the largest standard safe in our collection. These safes offer an unprecedented set of features, options, and attention to detail that does not exist anywhere else in this current market space.
So we developed a patent-pending construction of unitized panels. They're dry insulated, they contain no carpet or wood or sheetrock, and they're built using the highest quality components. This unique design minimizes flammable contents inside the safe, provides additional protection over particle board or plywood, and eliminates the need for dehumidification inside your safe. We incorporated smart security features from the bank safe industry, and we incorporated several user-friendly features from other consumer products industries as well.
So before we launched our safes, there were only 2 modular options on the market. One imported safe that offered fire insulation, but was low quality and had a lot of mixed reviews. One American-made modular safe with extremely long lead times and no fire insulation. Neither of these companies offer any customization options. You just got what you got. You ordered what you could order. They both land at very similar price ranges, around $1,800 to $3,300. Both of these safes offered basic solutions to the problem, but we saw a major need for high-end, feature-rich safe in the modular category. Our safes feature the highest feature set, the highest quality, and we're priced around $2,700 to $4,500. So you can see on the screen here, we've got a lot of options, but we are the best.
And the bottom, we'll touch on that in the next slide, that's Liberty Safes. They're actually the market leader in the gun safe category as well as the market leader in the safe category overall. So that kind of dictates that that's the largest sector of safe buyers. But their safes range from, you know, the low end of price all the way up to $9,000. So the current competitors were only covering a small sliver of that market, and we wanted to capture a bigger portion of it. So touching more on that, like you said, Liberty is the market leader in the industry. The overall safe and vault industry is estimated at $604 million. Liberty is the market leader. Our product is absolutely not restricted to firearm storage, but that data does tell you that gun owners are the largest purchasers of these large safes that are harder to move, that our solution solves. 2020 saw a record growth in new gun owners because of all sorts of things happening throughout the country. More and more states every year are implementing these safe storage laws or child safe laws where you're actually legally required to keep your gun safe from any children, not just your own children, friends, neighbors, nephews, nieces. We've also sold safes to be used for storing handbags, coin collections, cryptocurrency wallets, and other valuables. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, I didn't either. So, we're focusing on a factory direct business model. We're able to cut out the middlemen, offer the highest value right to our consumers, and we're able to get to know our customers and control their interaction with our company from the beginning all the way through to the end. And that'll allow us to maximize our growth and maximize our profitability along the way.
So since our launch in February 2020, we've shipped into 27 states. We have over 80 happy customers, and we've generated countless referrals. We're nearing $250,000 in sales. Our business plan projected between $20,000 loss and a break even for the first 3 years. The intent was to maximize our market spend so that we can grow into critical mass as quickly as possible. We're currently fighting material headwinds. It's just gone absolutely crazy, which has degraded our margins into the mid-20s, which is not where we want to be. That triggered a recent price increase, but it has not slowed us down one bit.
So right now, our team is currently 6 people. We have 1 full-time assembly person and welder as well. We have 1 part-time employee, and we have 2 contractors that help us with social media, PR, and digital marketing. We have enlisted the help of 3 influencers in the hunting industry and outdoor industry, and we have future plans to grow our presence in the shooting sports industry, which is actually a much bigger part of the market. And then you have us 2 as well, which are the founders.
In addition to our standard size safes, we are one of the only safe companies in the U.S. to offer our customers complete customized services. This range from unique colors and finishes to custom sizes built to fit, unique spaces. If our customer can dream it, we can build it. The custom safe experience involves a lot of interaction. One of the pillars of our company was founded on excellent customer service. We've gotten thank you notes, social media shout-outs. Our customers are considering us part of their family, and we consider them part of the Steelhead family.
We just launched our vault doors that featured the same level of customizability and innovation as our safes. We're forging partnerships with custom home builders and security providers. We're seeking out high-end cabinet makers and concrete contractors to grow the sales of both the vault doors and the safes. We look forward to launching an additional line of high-quality, smaller safes, and we're excited for the metal supply to stabilize so that we can pick that margin back up that we lost this year.
Our extensive experience in the custom fabrication industry, as well as design and business experience, makes us an ideal team to lead this company in the future. And we intend to do so as much as possible right here in our own backyards. With Steelhead Outdoors Safes is just the beginning. So help us grow, help us create more jobs in Scott County, and help us create products that will last for generations. We look forward to disrupting the market one safe at a time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll move on to Q&A. And Kurt, we'll start with you, and we'll move our way down this way and go back to Joseph and Sarah at the end.
First off, excellent presentation. Thanks so much. Really, the one question I had is, so customized safes. Right now, as you look at your segment, again, not knowing how those other competitors, Liberty and the like, I'm assuming as a differentiator, it's that customized safe. I'm curious, what fraction of your sales have some degree of customization aside from a paint color choice? Or is that a significant customization that wouldn't be offered with another provider?
So this year, it's been a much larger portion of our sales than last year because we kind of focused more on it from a marketing perspective.
Could you hazard a fraction-wise?
It's probably more than 25% of the sales dollars this year because the custom projects can get, I guess we probably should have put that on the slideshow, but we did like a match set for a guy that bolted together, and it was 3 safes. It was like $15,000 project. So those start to add up more than a $3,500 sale.
And part of my question is what that then means relative to your margin compression that you're getting.
Right.
I'm assuming that when we go customized, you're seeing something north of 25% margin. Is that accurate?
That's correct, yeah.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank
you.
Very interesting product that I think solves a problem. I want to go back to a comment that you made about margins right now. Clearly, supply chain issues, inventory issues for what you're making. It sounds like right now you're just adjusting price to get over that. Can you talk a little bit about, are you in a position about not actually being able to get product? What do you maybe have to do in terms of, when I look at your financial information, is it, an opportunity for you to pre-buy lots of materials that kind of gets you through? But if you could maybe talk about that a little bit more and kind of how you're hedging that risk, because I'm not so sure we all understand what our way out of it is.
So most of our components are purchased or manufactured right here in Scott County, right? We've got a great partner in a sheet metal manufacturer. So most of that the prices have increased, but the availability is still there. On some of like the lock components, we have had to hedge our bets, and we are purchasing well in advance. We have excess inventory on that. Just in time does not work in this current market space. So we have used resources, much of our resource, to make sure that we have inventory, because we need to be able to ship on time to all of our customers. So we've really looked at availability and pivoted on our plans for inventory.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Super important product. I was a very early investor in what's now the largest gun range location owner in the country in Shoot Point Blank out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And the sales of guns in the last 5 years have been incredible. So I have a bunch of questions, but let me ask a few. What's your output today? If you had unlimited demand right now, how many modular gun safes can you manufacture per month currently?
Our near-term goal is to do 4 per week, but our capacity right now, as long as that growth didn't happen like explosively in one day, we would be able to ramp to fairly significant numbers. In the business plan, our next major hurdle to come over is to get a larger commercial space, and that's sort of our next bottleneck. But I don't think that becomes an issue until well past that 4 per week number we talked about. And as long as it didn't happen, like the drop of a hat, we'd be able to adjust and grow. And I think we actually need that growth to hit our 3-year projections.
Got it. And how are you acquiring customers today?
It's a combination of referrals, word of mouth, and then we are spending a significant amount on digital advertising, Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, influencer products, and
Print ads.
Yeah, print ads even. It's still
Do you have a handle on what your customer acquisition cost is?
Yeah, it's actually relatively consistent from last year to this year, which we didn't expect, but it's about $800 right now. But when you step back and you say, look, we're spending all of our excess cash on marketing in order to grow, and we're growing every month, month over month. October's set to be our best month ever. That makes sense, because you're always taking all the money you get in and you're spending it right back on marketing. So it makes sense that it would stay consistent until you hit that critical mass.
Well, average sales price divided by your customer acquisition cost of 4x, that's very, very good. I mean, that's very commendable. Startups and direct consumer start in the 2x range, so the fact that you're at 4x today is very, very good, so great job there. My last question, what are customers asking for today that you currently don't offer?
That's a great question.
The vault door was a big part of that. So we did not offer a vault door because there's many other people or other companies out there that do that. And we kept nagging at us. And we said, all right, well, let's look into this. But we don't want to make a Me Too product. We refuse to do that. So our vault door, what we came up with was a version of other items on the market space, but it's more of a safe room, okay? If we all know the combination, we're able to go in, lock ourselves in to keep you out. A lot of these other vault doors aren't doing that, okay? So we took that industry, we listened to our customers, looked at that, modified it to make the premium product. So that's one example that we have pivoted. A year ago, we did not anticipate getting into that market space.
And last question, I swear. When I was shopping for a safe a few years ago, and on YouTube, these safe companies they, they run over them, they blow them up, they take a, have you, just intuitively, does a modular safe hold up to some of these, ballistic tests that you see as marketing, ploys by your competitors?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, especially the competitors that you're talking about, that it's all dictated by steel thickness, and that's why we mentioned that we take some features from the bank safe industry. So like just an example for you, in the gun safe industry, I call them vanity metrics, is they say, well, we have 25 little chrome little locking pins that come out every which direction. Then if you go look at a UL rated bank safe that the insurance company will certify to hold up $200,000 of cash, that has a piece of angle iron on the back that folds around the door that prevents it from being pried off. And that's actually stronger than those 14 little pins because it contacts the door the whole way down. So that's like a feature we put in our safes. And it's an uphill battle a little bit, but when you explain it to people, they go, holy cow, that makes a lot of sense. Where instead you're not saying, well, I'm just gonna one-up specsmanship the next guy. I'm gonna explain to you why this approach is better and give you the reference point of why we did it that way. And but that seems to be working for us, to explain the why instead of just trying to have these shock and awe moments.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Good job, guys. Oh, we're not done yet.
Good.
Time from sale to delivery.
So a lot of variations go into that. If you want one of our stock safes that's available on our website right now, we've got a Badlands brown exterior with Arctic white interior. We will pack it and ship it to you tomorrow.
1 week is the goal, or less on that one.
How about custom?
Custom, there's a lot of variations that go into it. If it's custom size, we're going to need 4 to 6 weeks. If it's a custom color, we might be able to do 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the availability of the certain powder coat.
So for example, right now we're just wrapping up one that's 7 feet tall, an exact size to fit in a guy's location, and I think we'll probably ship that one out in 5 weeks after he first contacted us, and that's like custom size, custom color, all that stuff.
Gotcha. So not only do I not know anything about babies, but I'm also mechanically challenged. So do you have a customer assistance line that I can call when I get my safe and have no idea to how to put it together?
So we do have a YouTube video that will help you, but we also have our business line, rings to either Corey or I, 24/7, 365.
Great. Go for it.
I feel like I should say I'm your target market. I'm totally not your target market. For this one, I don't know anything about safes, so I have like a lot of post-social hour questions for you. But like, why is fireproof important? Like, I have so many questions that I've written down here, but don't answer that one. The question I do want to know about is, so Liberty, it seems like, is the big dog in the arena. If they decided, I was looking at your secret sauce, if they decided, hey, let's build a modular safe. Mm-hmm. How do you defend against that? Do you think full custom then? Like, what do you do?
So that would definitely be one way, because when we started our company, we thought like our secret sauce is definitely this patented modular construction, but some of the feedback we've got is that's great, we appreciate that, but we love the customization and the customer service, like the handwritten thank you card that says, welcome to the Steelhead family at the end. And we got Christmas cards from some of our customers last year. So some people love that, but as far as our construction, the patent covers that panel construction where we have, so when you put ours together, you saw on the animation, the panels come pre-assembled and you just screw them together and you're done. The other competitor on the market that has fire insulation, you have to roll out stuff and pound in boards, and it comes in at least 2 times as many pieces, maybe 5 times as many pieces. So we do have a patent on that 2-panel system that's pre-constructed for the customer. So I think that would protect us. Now, to answer a follow-up question, could we afford to fight Liberty in a legal battle? Probably not, but it at least covers us from the get-go.
I have even more questions about fires based on your answer, but that's super cool. And I just wanted to say, I thought your marketing in this presentation was outstanding.
Thank you.
Very professional. I was hoping you're using it other places. So I think I'm the last one, right?
Yes, you are. I thought the presentations all tonight were wonderful. Very good job by everybody. Well, that concludes our 4 presentations. We're going to take about a 5-minute break, And then we'll ask the judges to gather in the little prior room off the side of the chambers here and deliberate. The audience can help themselves to refreshments and stuff out in the lobby area there. Practice social distancing, please. And then while the judges are deliberating, Rebecca is going to coordinate. We would like to get photos of all the presenters and past winners that we have here and stuff. So if we could get everybody to come up to the front here for pictures after you get your refreshments and stuff like that. So we'll take a 5-minute break before judges gather in the little prior room. Okay? Thank you. Okay, welcome back to the Fast Track Challenge. The judges have completed their deliberation, I'm assuming. That's why they're back here. Do we want to start out?
We'll start with Sarah.
Sarah's going to start out. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Dave. I am doing something that we weren't planning on doing, which is actually giving away a 4th place prize tonight. So we've never had this before, but I think everyone who's been here before and everyone who participated agreed this was the highest caliber of companies that we've ever seen in this event. So congratulations to all of you. Like, really well done tonight. The 4th place prize was generously put together by sponsors who agreed that the work tonight was outstanding, and it'll include 3 hours of marketing, design, and consulting from Neon Lizard, a 6-month virtual membership in the Center for Entrepreneurship Business Accelerator, and a membership in the New Prague Chamber of Commerce. And that prize package is up to $1,200. And this 4th place prize will go to Chef's Crest. And Matthew, I'll tell you, we thought this idea is really well done. We thought you have a ton of potential, just a little bit earlier than everybody else. So we would also encourage you to think about coming back next year. We'd love to help get this business off the ground.
There we go. So a couple of things before I start the 3rd place, and we'll move it down the panel for 2nd and 1st place. Just wanted to thank Joanne, who does an amazing job. We, as judges, we get to see, a little bit behind the scenes in terms of the preparation, and the materials and the emails and the communication are just flawlessly executed, and it makes our job, much easier. And I think it just adds to the whole experience for all of us. So thank you again. So I'm probably previewing here, maybe I shouldn't be, but we each got a judge's gift, which is so nice of Joanne and Scott County to think of us. And our judge's gift this year is a judge's gavel, and I've never done this. I've always wanted to do this, and I have no idea when the appropriate time to do this, but before I do 3rd place, I just wanted to do that one time. So I'll read the 3rd place winner and the awards that are going to be received tonight. So everyone presented very well, very high caliber, as Sarah said. So the 3rd place will receive the following startup funds and professional services. $1,000 cash donated by our sponsors, Valley Electric Co-op's Program Roundup, Old National Bank, and Scott County CDA First Stop Shop. Also, $250 value, 2 hours of design time for logo development, ad development, social media, website development, etc., from Neon Lizard Graphic Design, and $275 1-year free membership to the Savage Chamber of Commerce. And in addition, business advisory services for financial planning, market research, et cetera, from Next Stage, Minnesota. So a total value in cash and professional services of $1,525, and our 3rd place winner is MASH. I think the last part I was supposed to encourage all the winners to stay, and we'll take photos and hand out the awards after the presentations. Thanks.
And I get the privilege of announcing the second place winner, but I want to say I've been involved in this Fast Track Challenge for a few years now, and it's just equally rewarding for me as a judge, and I think all of us as judges, to be a part of this and to see the passion and excitement that you come to this really challenge with, and it's a lot of fun for us to do, and not always easy. We deliberated for a long time, so I think that is just a testament to certainly all of your ideas, the quality of your presentations, just really, really awesome tonight. So thank you all for that. So the second place will receive the following in startup funds and professional services: $2,000 in cash donated by our sponsors. Charles noted who those were, I won't repeat them. $705 in legal services donated by Larkin Hoffman. $750 value of 5 hours of marketing and design services from Neon Lizard Graphic Design. A 1-year free membership to the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce. A 1-year free mentorship from the Scott County Center for Entrepreneurship, and 1 roundtable with the Board of Advisors that has a $1,000 value. So in total, cash, professional services, $4,735. So awesome, generous from all of those sponsors. And I'm pleased to say that the second place award goes to Baby No.
Well, that takes the suspense away.
So, tonight's been a great night. We were here last year. There wasn't the energy that was in the room because of COVID. There's a lot of energy here. The presentations tonight were all amazing, all fabulous. You guys knocked it out of the park with your presentation. I mean, it was really good. And you can tell that you've spent a lot of time and effort working on your business. And, I think to a person up here, we're all convinced you guys can go in great places, Think about the competition, how do you make sure they don't eat your lunch, and go from there. Probably something that keeps you up at night, right? Let me ask you guys a question. Do you have another job, or is this your main gig? You both have full-time jobs. Yeah, right? Right? Yeah, I can imagine. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys what you won. You will receive the following startup funds and professional services: $4,000 in cash donated by our sponsors. So just, we'll just split that up here when we finish tonight. $1,800 in legal services donated by our firm. $1,500 in marketing and design services from Neon Lizard Graphic Design. $350 value of a 1-year free membership to the Prior Lake Chamber of Commerce. $1,000 value for a 1-year free mentorship from the Scott County Center for Entrepreneurship, and 1 roundtable with the Board of Advisors. Business advisory services for financial planning, market research, etc. Total value in cash and professional services, $8,650. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Congratulations to all our winners and to all the presenters and their business ideas. And thank you to the judges for a fine job that you did, the sponsors, service providers, and everybody for making this event possible. The City of Prior Lake for hosting this event, Prior Lakes and Savage Communications for recording, editing, and thank you all for attending. We hope to see you next year. Good luck with the companies and where you're going to be going in the future. And there will be pictures. Rebecca, you need some pictures yet? So we need to stick around with pictures, with certificates and stuff, and we'll move on from there. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you.